It ain't gonna work.
Live first and then.
Go ahead, press go live.
It's
Okay, it's
Did it
live.
work? Are we live?
It works. Hello. We're watching episode 2 of Seeking Sister Wives.
Yes. Oh,
Something. I don't know what it's called.
Seeking Sister Wives.
Let's see.
Ready to do this?
We're looking for a sister wife.
Yes, we are.
It's been about a year since our last relationship ended. It took time to heal. Now we're ready to get back out there again.
I understand.
Right down, Daniel. We're looking to add to our family. Hello.
Hi. Oh my gosh, you're to see. I know that I like Melina, and I think there's some real potential there. It's really crazy to think that Melina could become our sister wife.
There's one thing that I haven't shared with you yet.
Oh, well. She hoards cats. That's what I think it is. You're an insulation girl. Okay, who's this? We're in Utah.
We've been looking and trying to find someone who would fit for the family, someone who would fit and would help us grow, and someone who we could make happy.
You know, it's always exciting to see what new elements a new person can bring into the family and, you know, bless our lives with.
Yeah. I just, there's one thing that I haven't shared with you yet. That it's kind of a big deal. So, as you guys know, I love children. I've always wanted to be a mother. I've wanted a big family. But I can't have children of my own.
Oh, she's married.
Till she get married to him. That happens.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, she's still crying.
It makes me feel like I have less because I can't have children.
Oh, don't cry.
You know, I can't.
No. With this family, is there's still children that I didn't be a part of their lives.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I know that's heartbreaking.
I feel her loss because here I am with my own baby, and knowing that she can't experience that joy, I just.
Oh, boy.
See what I mean?
I'm just really grateful that you've been willing to share it with us.
Yeah.
You don't need to feel that that limitation that will have anything to do with how we value you. I mean, we got piles of kids.
Hey, like over there. Lift up that. Look, kids.
She didn't have to worry about that. Not in
And I know that he values me for who I am. We have 0 children or 10 children. And so I know that he looks at each woman in this family with the same level of respect.
That's good.
Well, thank you so much. You have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Melina. That was great.
You're
It
ruthless.
was so exciting to finally see her face to face.
I think
I'll ask you that. What do you guys think?
with Melina not being able to have children, that brings up this idea that that's such a main component of Mormon thought. The reality is it's very important to us.
Yeah.
But so is the individual, and the worth of a soul is great, you know, in the sight of God. And we would love her for who she is.
Exactly. Her worth would not be determined on whether or not she could have children. There's so much more that she could contribute to our family.
I agree. So I think we should just move forward and get to know her.
Good. I was really hoping you guys would like her. I know that I like Melina, and I think there's some real potential there for a future sister wife, and I hope she feels the same way about us. If all goes well, then hopefully we can meet her in person sooner than later.
I think it's wonderful. It's exciting.
Atlanta.
Snowden.
Look at
We're
that.
gonna brush first. Wade Snowden. We've been together for about 8 years. We have 2 beautiful children.
And you know, one on the way. It's actually moving
as I'm pointing to her belly.
Oh, how funny.
Look at this.
Ah.
You see that? Can you see that? Okay. Ready for bed? Let's go this way.
We've tried this lifestyle before. We did find someone that we really liked. We moved in together. And after about 4 months, we just realized that, we all weren't really a great fit for one another.
What do you need, man?
I'm good. I'm just getting my head wrapped on. Our previous sister wife and I were incompatible. She was not interested in having more children. And she was more interested in having a relationship with Dimitri than she was with me.
That's pretty important in terms of moving forward, and it became a strain.
She kind of just took me because I was a part of the package, but I was more of an afterthought. Like, that's not going to work for us.
Let's go to bed. What we've learned is we all need to be on the same page when it comes to what we want out of polygamy. So we need to take our time, we need to go slower, be methodical, and making sure that we're on the same page so that as a family we can be successful.
Oh, man.
How you feel?
Oh, I'm feeling good. We took the necessary time to heal, and now we're ready to get back out there. Okay.
Long since we checked.
Okay, we got some heads.
Like
We recently created
It's like 15 minutes ago.
specifically geared toward women who are looking for
Oh,
the best one.
wait, take out the phone.
Just one.
Okay.
Cute pics.
Just next month.
Okay, Diana.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'm 22 and I live in Seattle, Washington. I work as a flight attendant, so I'm lucky enough to travel all over. My job is fun, but I want to go back to school someday to be a neurologist. I try to keep an open mind, stay open to new experiences. I look forward to chatting and hopefully meeting someone soon. Send her a note.
Every relationship that is unsuccessful teaches you something new. Now we get to apply those lessons. For example, this time around, we will spend the time talking together. Whereas before, it may have been quite some time with just me and her talking, and we're building this bond, and it's great. And then when it comes time to her and Dimitri talk, there's like this weird alliance to me now. Or if it's the opposite, she's got this strong connection with Dimitri, and then she talks to me and she's like, actually doesn't like me. Oh my God, So if we move together, it allows her to kind of get to know us both together, so we're not getting ahead of one another. Okay, so hi, Jocelyn. Sound like a wonderful match and would love to connect with you. Most women wouldn't be happy with the idea of their man being interested in another woman. I, however, don't have an issue with that because I know what we're working toward. And so I want to make sure that the woman that we choose really wants to be a part of this family and wants this lifestyle.
Okay, I want to send that one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure
I'll make sure.
I want to do it together today.
Press them together.
Say we get to do it together. Boom. It's going. Sent.
My face right now. Together. What the hell? What? No. I'll answer your phone tomorrow. Conference call. No. Don't do it. I'd be mad right now. Look.
Right there. You like want him over here?
Why I can't get a pinky? I'm the newest damn wife. I can't get a pinky. Have us.
Oh, baby. You once removed. Once removed. You can sit over there.
A lot of time alone, so moving all in together with all these people.
That's her new baby.
No, it's not her new baby.
That's her new baby.
She's only been in 13 days. Wait a minute.
As a full family, having multiple wives and different homes, you can live a lot less conspicuously. Moving everybody all together into one home is it's a lot more difficult to be discreet, and so we're taking a lot bigger risk.
Hi.
Oh, no.
So they're in Utah too. I thought they were
I
in,
thought they were somewhere
in
else.
Minnesota.
Oh. Oh, they have Utah.
Oh,
Seems like the neighbors are poking around a little bit. And now curious as to what's going on and who are we all and
that doesn't
who are
happen.
we to each other.
It might.
I met the
Yes,
neighbors
sometimes
across
just
the
come
street.
around.
Hispanics sleep in the
I'm a
house together, they be
little
all
bit
in the
nervous
house.
because
Cute.
one of the
No
risks
question,
of
yeah.
living plural marriage in Utah is that somebody can
Oh,
report
no.
us to the state.
They in Utah.
And as the new
Oh,
wife with
see.
a brand new
But I thought they recently
that's
passed that
super
law that
terrifying
allows
to me.
cohabitation
Oh,
in
really?
Utah. I thought that was a.
I heard something, but I don't know what the stipulations are. I don't know what
I thought that polygamists saw that as a win.
they do. They do, but I don't know what all it means. You know,
It means devastating consequences.
I don't think they'd be looking because it's illegal or anything. I think they'd be curious.
Even though
Yeah,
the risks
like,
that we face with
If you're
doing
one
it
kind of woman and they're kind of another kind of
but we
woman.
do it
What?
because
What you want?
we need the public to
Get
know
out my
we're
lawn.
away from this military shackle that touches us.
Oh, I can't.
We need something to change for the thousands of other polygamous families out there. We need
I'm
to be free.
And you need to learn how to speak.
Wait, no, nobody said that.
Like I'm up here in the mirror. Some of that's mean. He gonna talk about she needs to learn how to speak. I'm not mean at all. I'm not.
That never happened. I know you speak.
That was a bit hypocritical.
And because of that,
You know how to talk though. Your accent is nice.
and myself,
Can't say it hard.
time in prison. April, she doesn't really understand.
Wait,
the
what?
depth
What?
Of what that looks like.
What happened?
And neither do April's children.
The
They've
his
never
wife, his
had to
first
do what
wife,
my
it was
children
his
have
time
had
in
to do.
prison.
The thing that was hardest for me when I was living with April was that my kids couldn't be in the front yard and call Drew dad. I just remember my children's faces being so sad. In a way, it started to make them feel like second class in the home. April
Why
was
do they
talking
stay
about
in Utah?
having the
Must be a
reaching
lot
out
of
for
money in
neighbors and
Utah.
being really friendly
Well,
to
it's
them and
Mormon
having
home.
mobile and that kind of
Lots
stuff.
of
I'm
money
like,
to do.
I don't think that's a good idea.
We can't
Because
have them over. There's too many opportunities to slip up. The kids would call Drew dad, and as far as the law is concerned, April definitely has less at stake. She's not at risk for going to prison, and she's not at risk that way for her children being taken away from her. I will probably, in fact, try to avoid any interaction with the neighbors. I hate to say it, but we kind of need to come up with a story.
This is my sister.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Okay.
She in the kitchen.
All the snow.
Go ahead.
That means that you're, yay. That's work. I know my mom loves me. I am not sure how she's gonna take this.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh boy.
Commercials mean recap, right? Commercials mean that like we give our opinions on things that are happening and have happened on the show so far. I heard baby like a
So
month
what-
old though.
I don't understand. I don't know.
So once again, we're looking at seeking sister wife, seeking a sister wife. This is episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was your?
Well, I mean, I guess that's mean for me to ask because he could have very well said, well, hey, you are a single woman. Yes, you're about to have a baby. So come on, I'll accept you. So it's not a bad thing.
She's wondering why the wife of 13 days has a child.
Yeah.
More or less.
So we're wondering if she came in with a child. And that's something that happens.
Where's the father?
No.
Remember recently there was this girl that came into EBF saying she's pregnant.
Oh yes.
And she came under heavy fire.
She did. She's gone
Yeah.
now.
I remember.
I don't know about, this is America, so there's always the racial divide, cultural wise, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, I don't know about the white people, but what I've noticed is that in the Black polygyny community, a woman coming in pregnant it's complicated.
Okay.
And it is, because it raises questions. I mean, coming in pregnant means that you recently had a relationship. Number one, you recently had a relationship. Number two, there is a child, there's an offspring of that relationship that's not here yet. So are the particulars on that settled? Yeah.
Right.
Is the father, have you, if a woman comes in with a child and the child is like, a year old, 3 years old,
that's something.
you could, you would think that, okay, that they've already settled that, she has the child and they've gone in the groove and, that relationship has ended, she's moving on. But I mean, a pregnant woman, what issues are you going to face with the father? Maybe he might want to be in his child's life. And that is a concern for a lot of men in polygyny.
Maybe they just are arguing right now. So she feel like she's gonna move on. And so she goes on this path to polygyny.
Which is kind of what it looked like with that
Yeah.
same girl that came in the group. It seems like she was just mad at the guy.
Yeah.
And she wanted to show him, I can get somebody else and stuff. And that's the other thing too. A lot of single women look at polygyny like an easy out type deal. Anyway,
it's back
to the show.
Atlanta.
Yay, student. Oh, nanny. He's have a nanny.
Girl, you got a nanny?
What?
You got
you said they got a nanny, a personal trainer, a driver, this or
Wow.
you listed it one time.
Just the messaging back and forth. This is the part where we have to get back up and.
The leap from just texting someone and messaging someone to video is huge. I'm nervous about being what I think I should be in front of her. I'm nervous that she's actually who she's supposed to be. It's all this stuff all mixed together. So there's a huge level of gravity that goes with that. I look okay.
You're fine. If she doesn't like it, she ain't fine.
My first family.
Having a sister wife is beneficial because we don't have to try to figure out like where the village is. Like we are the village. Like we're working together as a community. We don't have that support system. It's really just Dimitri and I. So having someone else takes some of the strain out of trying to figure out how to thrive.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Jacqueline. How are you?
Where you at?
I'm in Seattle.
All right.
Yes.
So you're a world traveler. What makes you interested in living this way?
Or even interested in us, our profile.
Yeah, how about that?
Okay, so I thought you both were really, really attractive, and I just was like, you guys are just beautiful as people. So that was one thing that really attracted me. And as far as the lifestyle, I just think that it's helpful for all parties. It's like as women, I feel like we can vibe more emotionally, and then I just feel like as far as upholding a house, two is always better than one.
Well, let me ask you, look at these on the outside of what normal relationship in this country looks like. How do you feel about being public with that?
I don't really care what other people think.
That's good. Speaking of people, what does your family think about it?
I don't think it would be something that they judge me for. I do have a sister. She's a lot older. She's like 37.
I'm 36. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel about that? I think. Oh, okay.
Today older. I don't really like people my age. I'm 22.
We saw it. Sean and I were like, is she sure she wants this? We haven't really ever considered having a sister wife as young as Jocelyn before. So if she is like, today I'm interested in polygamy and tomorrow I'm going to be interested in something else because I'm still growing and figuring it out, that's not going to work for us.
When you find the family you want, what does that look like for you?
I want a family that is close-knit. Like I want to feel like there's two different relationships in Do you get what I mean?
Love her
Like we're friends and we have a dynamic and we can build and create together.
So many drama, like where's this drama? I can try that for you.
Do you
I
want
like whistles.
children? And we already have two children a world away. If we were to move forward, are you okay? Being mom day one.
I do want kids. I don't know how many, but I'm completely.
And then what happens when I get tired?
I don't have really kids in my life anymore. All of them are grown up now, so I miss that. I really do miss that bond with kids.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. You're awesome.
I thought the video chat went well. Conversation was really good. I think if I have any concern, it's probably around wondering if she's really ready for being a mother. You know, 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and one on the way literally.
I think it's important to really know that this is what you want.
I have to get ready for work. It was so nice to with you. I hope we can do it again soon.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, awesome chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I don't know how y'all Skype. I don't know how they do that.
Wow, that was a surprise.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
We did that when we tango. We did tango.
I mean, she had a beautiful smile. She had natural hair.
She wants to have babies.
I would think that her answers constitute to be true because she
It's a great question. Where is
said everything you wanted to hear. Obviously, Dimitri is really excited. I have some concerns about her age and level of maturity. She has a lot more life to live and a lot to learn, and to make such a big decision about a family like ours, I'm just wondering if, maybe she's ready for that.
Sometimes you can worry too much. Yeah. Utah.
Oh, okay, they close that.
Listen, I'm ready to pause this damn shit. Hold on, wait a minute. I don't want to forget my point.
Walking fast as you usually do.
No,
No, that's not the same
baby.
people. It's like, man, the baby group.
It's the cat order people.
I'm not ready. I'm pregnant. No, I don't know how I feel. I'm currently pregnant with my 4th child, and about 12 weeks along now. When I was pregnant with Dean, we were courting Sharice. And that was hard for me because I wanted my husband, I was extra emotional, and going through the roller coaster that is pregnancy, add on to that roller coaster that is courtship, and it's just extra hard.
That's the 3 wife or the 2 out
The
of the
2
3?
out of the 3rd.
It's been something that Sharice has really jumped in and gotten to know her. Pretty good friendship.
Yeah.
But I'm just wanting to make sure you're okay.
Sharice is more excited and gung ho right now because she's made a connection with Melina. And that's great. But just being sick with this pregnancy, I haven't been able to invest as much in our relationship. We'll either keep getting to know her and like who she is, or we'll find out things that aren't compatible. And the only way to know is to just keep talking to her. So I think that's fine.
Okay. It's gonna be a nice sunset when it finally gets there.
Oh, that is beautiful. Atlanta.
Yay! All right, a lot of the snow this time.
All right, so we'll do seconds real quick. We got baby boys building blocks. At the track that the train's gonna go on.
Yeah.
You got the number 3 candle.
Very important. Tomorrow is
the express.
My mom is coming in from
On this
Ohio.
video.
My sister's coming in from LA, and we're gonna have a good time. Pretty big deal. He's been talking about it since Nana's birthday.
Yeah, he's excited. You think? Is that mom?
No, that's Veronica. I'll call her back in a little bit.
No, mom's gonna land soon, isn't she?
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping a line open.
I think she's gonna take all this. Is she gonna be easy though? Is mom gonna start?
I mean, she's opinionated. Now that Dimitri and I have started dating again, I think it's time to tell my family that we are looking for a sister wife. My sister is usually very supportive. My mom, on the other hand, she's not a fan of the lifestyle.
Do we think mom is gonna think that, okay, well, guys, it didn't work the first time.
because polygamy is not normal, actually his mom is probably not thinking that we're going to try again, but we are serious about this lifestyle. We don't give up on our lifestyle because we haven't found the right person. How do we tell her?
Maybe it's not something that you and
What
I
are
do
you
together.
making? What are you
Yeah, maybe
making?
so. You're right. You're right.
Maybe I,
I love
you know,
that.
because that's how it was when I told
So
her
what is he
about
making? He's like chopping up summer squash and peppers.
Yeah.
Man,
What are you
he's
doing?
got the marinara.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
are you
lasagna.
called? Does that mean that you're gay? How does sex work? Did Demetri push you up to this?
Because you can't come to this on your own as an autonomous.
No, because it's not something that she ever knew from me.
Nobody knows.
Okay, so to be clear, you're going to handle the whole conversation with him, but I don't have to be there, be present, be around, be.
Wait, he said adios. I'm going for a drive. Commercial?
Coming up.
Good.
Everyone's asking some questions. You need to have time to really ask the people's stories, right?
Those poor people. I'm not happy that they have to have a cover story just to keep their stuff.
That's their choice.
There must be so much
There
money
are
in Utah.
50 states.
Thank you.
in
There's
America to
something in
live- to
Utah
live in.
that makes these people want to say they can move.
I mean, they probably have their family and stuff.
I mean, it's family, it's Mormonism. Like I said, it's a Mormon hub. It is a polygyny hub.
Well,
But
apparently,
So then why are they so afraid?
because they're not where the FLDS are. They're not over there.
they say it's a state. It's a state situation.
What? That's what they said.
Yeah, they say it's a state law.
Yes, and absolutely is. But if you're in a place where the FLDS are, even the police are polygamous over there.
Okay, well, you can't really.
They can't because they're not as conservative.
I mean, it's like this. When we were looking to buy a house, what is the main reason we chose this area?
People who are like us.
Because it is a black area.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to make sure that we don't deal with none of this racial tension thing. I wanted to make sure that while the kids are playing, everybody can relate to them as their kids. If something happens, and then it actually worked because in 2009 I had a motorcycle accident, and and it was right up the street. And when I was laying on the road, this older woman, nurtured me while I was laying on the road, like as if I was a son. I don't think I would have gotten that if we lived on the other side of the train tracks. So, you have to live where is best for you.
Unfortunately, I think it's where they are is best, and it's worse. They're trying to stay where there are Mormons, where there is polygamy. However, they can't stay where like Warren Jeff's people are. They can't stay there.
Why not?
Because they're not a part of that sect.
Look at how they dress. They wear pants.
The
women are wearing pants.
You can't be around Warren Jeff's people.
But I'm sure there is like the in between. There is like, we're over there, but we're not all the way over there.
And to prove that they are the in between.
But they're not living.
Atlanta.
They're not going to live close to them.
Wow.
Peachtree and Peachtree.
Back in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't go.
All right.
Baby.
He did it.
I was 23. I'm so excited because my mom, my sister, and her family are all here, and it's really great having everyone here. Although we're both a little nervous about telling my mom what I can do.
I'm nervous.
My mom's reaction when I first told her that I embraced polygamy was she just flipped her wig. She asked me if I was in a cult. How did this happen? That was pretty much her response. I'm not really sure how she's going to react to it. And I don't want their reaction to ruin the energy of the day. Can you help me bring back the kitchen?
You ever send a train to you? Look, here it comes. Papa sent it to you. Uh-oh.
Okay. I brought you in here because Demetri and I actually are dating again. And we're trying to figure out a way to bring it to Mother Dearest. And so I need help.
What do I do? Here's the thing about Ashley. She likes to try new things. So when I found out that Ashley and Dimitri wanted to practice polygamy, I wasn't surprised one bit. Like, not at all. Like, Ashley will, I'm sure, try anything once. However, not all of our family is open to this lifestyle. How do I present it to her? Because the last one didn't quite work out, and in general, she's not a fan. So I would just tell her, you know, we decided
I'd be
to
scared too.
put ourselves out there again.
Face to
And
face
learn
and
from
embarrassing like that. My mom be to hit me with a purse.
Look, what?
Oh my God! Children, run! My mama violent. My mother's fine.
Although my mother does not approve the lifestyle, so I still want her support. So I don't know if it's
Sad. I want to cry.
okay.
Everything makes
Thank
me
you.
cry.
And she like
You don't
legitimately
even
cried.
know. I really know you're crying.
I like say cried just now, but like she
No,
like
my
cried.
eyes is well. Oh wow.
Angela brought it to my attention.
See what I mean?
And I think we probably should have talked about this before we moved over. But
How do you fix
as
it?
is, we need to have a story now so keep our story straight.
Neighbors is like,
That's stressful. I
Mainstream Mormons.
have to bring it up, but I'd like some thoughts on really like how we'd like to proceed.
Mainstream Mormons don't like polygamous Mormons. They will call the police on you.
Because they feel like it gives them a bad name.
As a family, when everybody lives in a different home, it's a lot less conspicuous. So we knew if we're moving into one home altogether, that there would be a lot more suspicion.
Yeah,
As an attorney and polygamist in Utah, I'm under extra pressure because I'm in the public eye.
he's an attorney.
I love him.
Polygamous. What?
Although we want to move and
Everybody know who to call now.
Utah, I have a case for
I just wish we could just be open about it. I've done this too many times. I was kind of secretly hoping when we moved to this house, perhaps we'd be done with that.
She doesn't want to be hidden.
I understand with the way that this neighborhood is set up, that that's not a good possibility.
You saw my pound. That's
But I wish it wasn't there.
that new one. She's like,
At stake. I just hate that.
I'm just laying on the table.
She's like, I'm the new wife. Can I hold this? Like,
I'm just laying on the table. I'm just laying on the table. We don't finish talking. What you say? But an apple in her mouth.
I don't like to hide. It's up to me to just be open, compliment me. But then again, I'm the one who has the least risk in the family. And so it just puts me in a really difficult place.
Essentially, we have to lie to protect our own family. And I don't like it either, but there's no way I want to risk going to jail. Who would raise my son?
Criminal.
We would
What's
raise
happening
us.
Criminal.
I've never had to deal with this. Some nights I literally am kept awake thinking about being separated from my son.
Because he putting you on the stress by not moving.
And raised by somebody else.
He shouldn't move.
Looks like we're backed up into a corner and we don't have a lot of options.
Yeah, it's terrible. What does everybody want
His
to
license
do?
might not count.
That's true.
Well, because I am the only
Sounds
legal
like
wife.
their bread and
I've been the one
butter.
that's kind of the face.
They have a
But
17 barrel
I don't want
pole.
this to be like the central
17 people.
for having to do that. I know
Shouldn't
this
be
is a
that
sensitive
difficult.
topic, but I can't help that I'm the one that married you first. I really don't like it when I feel resented. It's not something I'm trying to take away from you. It's just
Oh no.
I'm the only one that legally has his name. It's not something to take lightly. If the repercussions won't very drastic and it's just people being rude to us, yeah, I think that's one thing. But April doesn't have those repercussions hanging over her head. Absolutely, I do. I would be losing my husband too. There's different repercussions. That would definitely be something that would affect me too.
You know
So
what she remind me of?
I can be the visiting aunt.
That's a good idea.
What about you?
Yeah, I should buy our book.
Visiting
She can be
aunt.
more than nanny.
She said she can be
The
visiting
nanny?
aunt.
Yeah, I can do that. And that's believable, especially with such a large family.
I think we can pull that off. Is it a risk to put everybody together under one roof? Yes, but it's a risk to be a plural family in the state of Utah, and there are thousands of them.
Wow.
I think it would be good to kind of refrain from any affection outside, or maybe even be cautious that way, and just live a normal life inside, but outside just keep things toned down.
See, he's planning. That one on the left would be my sister.
We need people to
They look alike.
And the one with the accent would
to a normal alternative lifestyle. And we need more families
Visit
to
an
be
aunt
able
in
to
the
open
desert.
up, to show that there are
Producer
lots
said
of
it's such a
broken
risk to
families,
you while you're doing
normal,
the show.
good people. And then we can have hopes to change the law and allow all of us to live in peace and harmony with everybody else. Okay, so how do we go about telling the kids?
Smooth
That's a
criminal.
good question.
Need my hat. We're gonna all need.
What's going on?
You know,
Oh, I don't want
Oh,
to
my
have
dukes
this
ain't
conversation.
playing. My dukes ready to fight.
Oh, I don't want to have this conversation with you, Ashley, with your mom. Scared.
Commentary by the Polius family.
I
Scared.
thought there was some other stuff you wanted to talk about in the previous segment.
But you know, my attention span
Oh,
memory and stuff.
I don't know.
The 22-year-old.
She was.
Is that?
She's young.
Yeah,
She doesn't have any children.
she doesn't have any children.
She's coming into a family with 3 children, all under
And
5.
one will be a newborn.
Yes, one will be a newborn. Will she be able to develop a relationship with her husband while her husband is being a brand new dad all over again? And I mean,
To a needy wife.
there's a nanny already.
Yeah,
So it's like,
she's pregnant and she's got her hormones going. You heard the other lady in the
oh yeah, but they
the
were
other
walking.
Utah family. She said that the last time she was pregnant, he was courting too, and all she wanted was him.
Yeah.
All she wanted was her husband, and she couldn't really have access to him because he was busy trying to bring somebody
Yeah.
else in.
I think that's my concern too,
Yeah,
because you know, during the taping, Ash was pregnant.
yeah.
And you want to have a sister wife before you have the baby. But in my opinion, there's no time on it.
Yeah.
No time on that. So you could very well be rushing into disaster again.
Atlanta, yay! Oh no, this is the conversation I don't want to have.
Oh, and Mama?
Yes.
Oh boy, Mama Dukes.
Yay.
Baby, he's 3.
I'm going to
With security.
Security.
Come stand over here, please.
this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I'm here to want to talk to you, Mama.
uh-oh.
What's going on?
So, you know, Denise and I are
She's like,
not your typical couple. I know you have your feelings
we have
about
those
that,
earrings.
right?
Oh, hers?
Denise and I
Mama's
are
earrings.
Okay.
I'm glad it
And so I just wanted to share that.
She's all right. We're okay.
The last relationship that didn't work was hard on you. And so what hurts you hurts me. My mom looks at this family dynamic as something that's only beneficial to a man. So it's like, what is my daughter getting? You know, this is our forever person. You know, this is not a game for us. And so we have things that we're trying to accomplish, and we try to be as transparent
Don't
as,
call them
as
forever people.
communicative of those things as possible. Well, you know, your lifestyle is not one that I, would sign up for because I don't share. I've told you that. Like, no. I think the most
way you
uncomfortable
at,
topic here, or the elephant in the room, will be the whole.
I don't know where
I'm
he
leaving.
is. No, you can't leave.
No,
You must take this route with me.
Where you at though? No judgment. I mean, I don't know if she's single, but where you at though? It's always single women talking about anal shit. Sorry.
I'm here for the comments. Look, wait. I'm here for the comments. I'm just gonna sit here and listen. That's what's gonna happen.
That's
Yay.
right. Mama didn't hit nobody. She didn't
They
cuss.
yell at me,
She
they
didn't
cry.
spit. No shoot. You're like, woo!
It's not slow. You pregnant. Oh, so hard to get out the chair, honey.
Utah.
How'd you this?
Homework. Homework.
So where do they live? Why aren't they living under that fear? Because they're in Utah
It
too.
looks like they're like
They
near
might-
the mountain.
Well, but then they might be in a better place. They might be in a more open place.
Hey. Oh. Hello.
Hi.
That's a new cat.
North.
Look at the orange cat.
That cat black.
You're doing pretty good.
You see it laying on the couch like this?
Would you like to meet some of the children?
Yeah, if you're
That
open to
cat is
that.
too funny. There's two.
That one, I told you.
Normally, if we were to meet a woman locally or at church, then she would meet our entire family pretty much on day one before the relationship turned into anything serious. But Melina was in Michigan, so it's a little bit different.
Melina's in Michigan. That's why we call it Michigan.
You can see this is Sebastian.
Barely.
Yeah.
I'll say hi for him.
Babies.
Hi.
Oh, look, it's a kitty cat.
Look at it here.
Pretty much my baby. I think kids are wonderful little mini humans that
People.
They're forever people. They're forever pets.
Okay, even though we know we're going to ask Melina if she wants to come out and visit us, I'm very excited, but I'm also kind of nervous. I don't know if she'll think it was too soon or not, but I guess we'll find out.
Melina, I think you should come.
I have a question for you. I was wondering how you would feel about the idea of coming down to visit us sometime soon, maybe.
Like next week.
Yeah.
I
Do
think
you
this
feel
is going
it's
to
too
happen.
soon? No? Good. I'm not quite sure how I feel. I'm not excited, but I don't know her. She's still a stranger to me, and I haven't really developed any relationship
That's
with
your
her.
choice though, man.
But we'll see what happens as I get to know her a little better and see if I like her too, or who knows.
That's your choice though, right?
So we asked Melina if she wanted to come visit us, and she said yes. I'm very
She's
excited.
so excited.
I think it's the
That's her
next step
friend.
in
Yeah.
our relationship. I'm definitely ready to meet her. The reality that she could be my new sister wife is starting to feel real. Coming up.
Okay, you guys, so our situation with the neighbors. They don't know that we have more than one mama here.
We could end up without a home and some of us could.
Why would you tell the
They like, the
children?
hell you jeopardizing my life? Fuck.
Don't jeopardize their feelings. Just don't even tell them these things. My mommy said I couldn't cook. Okay, which lady is your mommy? That one over there. And just leave it at that. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't tell the children that, oh, you must not. I mean, even in Utah, I wouldn't tell them, you must not tell.
That's just putting too much on the children.
Too much on the children. That's a problem. It scares me.
You don't do that.
I don't like to make children cry for those types of things. It's just not good. I don't want them to think about the possibility of mommy being in jail for the relationship dynamic that she chose to be a part of.
So the children also, maybe they make a friend in the neighborhood and they're supposed to lie to their friend.
Yes. You're supposed to lie.
It's very hard for kids to do that because they're sitting there playing in the sandbox. It's like,
I was saying, I don't
I
think
want to
it's.
tell you something. Like, I'm not supposed to tell you.
I don't think it's that difficult to switch your license.
Like what you mean?
Is a lawyer.
Oh, his bar.
Yeah.
But then he wouldn't be a polygamous lawyer anymore.
Still do.
If polygamy is halfway recognized in Utah.
Yeah, I promise people need that man.
You could go to Philadelphia or Michigan.
It's in Philadelphia?
Yeah, doesn't Philadelphia have one of the
yes.
biggest Muslim communities?
Yes, they
Populations?
do. Yes.
And then doesn't Michigan come in second with that? There's this town in Michigan that's all.
Oh, it's back home, but yeah.
Lifestyle.
Especially when it involves the kids. I really don't like that we're telling our kids this. I would personally just rather be open and face whatever comes.
Well, in truth, when it comes to the safety of our family, it needs to be a
When is she
priority.
gonna be?
my
I'm
opinion.
sorry.
It's part of my job of watching.
She want a new wife to be able to sit next to
Fighting
us.
things and fighting
Yeah.
court for years on end. I've
Here we
watched
go.
judges be prejudiced against people and beat them up just because they were pointless. Okay, you guys, we have a couple things to talk about. Most importantly, our situation with the neighbors. Basically, they don't know that we have more than one mom in here. And if they find out, they might kick us out of the house and make us move somewhere else. That'd be super sad, huh? We believe in being as honest as we ever possibly can. And there's only really one exception to being dishonest. Does anybody remember what it is? If you're protecting an innocent person from harm, then that's a time when it's okay.
I want you guys to feel like you're telling something that's true, but maybe you're not going to tell the whole entire story. You know? We need to do that because very bad consequences can happen. We could end up without a home, and a possibility some of us could go to jail because of unjust laws.
While we don't want to scare the kids, it's really important that they understand the gravity of the situation. It could cost them losing their siblings. It could cost them losing their mom or their dad.
Living in the house with all my brothers and sisters is really nice because they're around all the time every day. I think it would be really hard if we lived apart again. I would miss them. And once it's their turn to have it taken away again. So have you ever heard of a nanny? It is, yeah. If you have like some of your friends come over and play or asking you questions and Angela's there, you could just say she's coming to be a nanny to help out with the kids.
Since we've all moved in together, I have wondered, what have I gotten myself into? That being said, I don't feel like I've made a mistake. Things are just more intense than I expected.
Is Arlie your mom? Yeah, we love her, huh? But we don't want everybody that lives outside, like our neighbors, to know that she's your mom. That's just something that is so special. I want you guys to keep inside. Is Arlie related to Daddy? Yeah, because she's his wife, right? She's family. So we're just saying she's extended family on Daddy's side. The most important thing is I don't want you to go and say, oh, that's my other mother.
Yes.
Jocelyn. Yeah.
So how many of the kids are hers?
As much as I hate hiding who I am,
I just gotta say that's
I know
a
it's
dumb
best for
plan.
the family. It makes it worth it to not allow someone to.
Why are you having the children lie about who their mother is?
What happens if like
Just
somebody
my
asks me, is he your dad?
See what I'm saying?
Nah, he's the
That's the
milkman.
super hardest thing, because really there's not a good answer for that.
There's not a good
You
answer
can
for
just say,
that.
oh, that's true. You know, try and remember just not call me daddy outside. Does that make you feel sad?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes me feel sad.
Always
too.
his dad.
Just so everybody understands, none of us like having to do that. It makes all of us uncomfortable. It makes all of us sad. But because it's a really big deal, that's what we have to do right now. I feel really badly for the children not to be able to be claimed by me. That hurts. That
Y'all
feels
should
bad.
move
But
to the
unfortunately, we have to pretend
You're an
not to be
absent
who we are
father,
because
man.
we don't want to be prosecuted for living our religion. We don't feel we have any other choice either. We are a plural family, and this is our life.
Next on Seeking Sister
You
Wife.
can be my damn lawyer.
Yo, yeah,
I scheduled signaling up at the airport today.
that
I'm
doesn't
very
make
excited to meet
sense.
her.
Listen, don't do what that girl did and not show up. Wow, she's tiny. Oh, it's off. It's pretty.
I don't think you are the one person in the world that misperceives
Oh, it's
me.
done.
We're definitely having an impasse right now. Well, do you want it to change? That's why I'm bringing it up. Is because I want it to change.
Oh my gosh.
I have not been having the best of feelings for you.
Okay, wait, say one thing.
Now there's 3. You thought that people were going to tell you about yourself when it was just 2 other people in the house. Now there's another person. Do you hear her? She agrees. It sounds like she agrees with wife 2 about wife 1. Said I haven't had the warmest of feelings about you.
She shouldn't. She a boss wife.
She said, okay, I can't take this. And she walked off. She's going to go hold her husband's hand.
You can see the manipulation on the
She's
show.
manipulating. She's smiling and she's very sweet.
Who?
Buddy, the brown-haired wife. The brunette.
There's a lot.
Okay. All right. So, Jeff. I think Jeff is commendable for the sister that's trying to come down who's barren, because I think it's a common belief right now amongst polygynous people that there is a place for women that can't have children, with us.
How many children does he already have?
Looks like they had about 5, maybe 6. They have little children. They have little
That's it.
kids, and
5, 6?
and wife number 1 is pregnant again.
She's pregnant.
Mm-hmm. So they have all these little itty bitties, and she can come in. If she comes in now, then she will be another mother to those kids, and she'll have the experience of motherhood, at least to that extent. You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool.
Her being 40 and you're a mother to children that's not yours, and they all under 7.
I mean, it's hard.
That's hard.
I mean,
but
if you want
try
it.
being 22 and never having children.
That too. You want to sleep? What you mean? I got to get up and feed the child. Why? I gotta feed him.
I don't think it's going to be like that.
I know.
I hope not.
I was 22, but I had a kid.
Yeah.
Mama, can you make me a bottle? Like, I mean, you're 22 years old.
Yeah. But she probably wouldn't want to do that. I don't know. We'll have to see on that end. The 22-year-old might. I think they're both right. I think Ashley is right for, being wary of that situation. But I think it's good they're going to give it a chance. Yeah. On Dimitri's end. I hope Ashley lets them go out later on in the evening. Even though y'all got 2 pregnant women on this show. And pregnant women are so hormonal.
The one that just had a baby like 7 days ago.
Ooh.
She only been in the ages
13. This day 15.
She got a baby. Oh, baby.
Where
was the baby last show?
That baby was there.
It was?
Yes, little cute little thing. I didn't see it. Hold that baby. Little round-headed baby.
I started the other baby.
There's a lot of them. He said that. Oh, that was Jeff who said that. We got piles of kids around here. Here they are.
That lawyer guy, man, how many cases do you win, bro?
That's a good question.
Because a polygynous man has to be a good strategist, because you're leading a big family, and a family with multiple women. So you have to be able to formulate plans and execute them properly and to get it done. And I just think that that's weak. That that so now your children are going to have to lie about who their mother and father is. And you see, and really to me that's giving polygyny a bad name because it already looks like parents or the adults, especially the man, he basically wants to have his cake at the expense of the other people, and you're actually showing that. So you want your plural wives, you want your multiple wives, and you all want them to live in the same house, and now your kids are going to have to lie. They cannot, be open about who their mother and father is. That's wild, man, to expect that of children.
Mm-hmm.
All for what? Because you wanted to move in that neighborhood with a big house while you fell in love with the house. You love the state so much that doesn't like your lifestyle.
I think they should live in the
That
country.
doesn't make sense, man.
I think they should move out of these
I
areas
don't.
where there's so many people around.
I don't see good leadership there. I don't see why you're subjecting your family to all that. Like why?
I guess it's a matter of the life they want to live.
Exactly. So live the life you want to live in a place where you don't have to go through all these extremes to live it. And I mean, certainly not set the kids back like that. Not put them in
A position where they have to
in
lie.
that difficult position.
But Mormon polygamists have been lying. They've been lying for decades.
To me,
It's a
man,
part of their culture.
that plan wasn't thought of very well.
He's a weak guy. That whole thing is just weak. You stressing children out. Children don't have stability because now that's like if I slip up,
And
then
Mr.
I'm gonna lose my
mama.
house.
I'm gonna lose my daddy.
And
You're
Mr.
gonna lose
Brooks
the
say
house.
he's in one of these groups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
So I'm just saying, bro, like, this is this is most likely this is scripted. Don't know how solid that background is, but if we're taking it as reality, that is I don't see it's that difficult of a situation of a problem to solve. I think that there are a lot of selfish drives at play that would lead to that,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the last episode. They moved into the house and they didn't know who was getting what room, and the movers were held up. So it just shows that. What's that?
Their leader is just not even. He shouldn't even. Just because you can have polygyny doesn't mean you should have it.
But they were getting good feedback. That the entire show was getting good feedback because it says, for once, I was looking at people speak about it and they're like, for once we have a polygyny show where the men are more laid back and let the women lead. And
Good feedback from who?
from I mean, I can't say people's names.
I know, but
well, not that I can, but out of respect,
wow.
I don't want the rocks crying out for me.
But
this
what we've learned, man, is that polygyny is said about the man.
Oh, the thing that I say.
Yeah,
what?
both of you say like the kind of man. Like, what they say is that polygyny is just it's not good with a weak guy who cannot take control and take charge of a situation.
No, the polygyny needs to be a strong man. Monogamy is for men that aren't very strong anyway. And I mean, even at that point, like
really, that
men that aren't very strong shouldn't be mating anyway. But,
really, that's one of the so-called benefits of monogamy is that it gives every man a chance to have a wife, or it gives not every man but more men a chance to have a wife than polygyny. If polygyny was promoted, if it was drilled in society, then you would find women would just gravitate towards the better men and leave all the weaker men alone.
The men that shouldn't have so many wives. I mean, the men that shouldn't have wives wouldn't have wives. But I mean, if judging from what the second wife is saying, that the first wife manipulate the husband anyway, most of the time.
Man, quite frankly, I saw a whole lot of how would I say? I'm looking for. I'm looking for the least offensive delivery here. But
least offensive.com.
Yeah, I saw
offend. It's like offend. Oh, the masses.
I saw women holding the reins more than I thought they should. I'll say it like that.
I mean,
maybe that's why there's so much polygamy in the Mormon community.
Why?
Because they promote that.
They promote what?
The women do the choosing. The women do the deciding. The women do, they orchestrate. That's how their society works. It is very matriarchal.
Yeah, when they're in the absence, when they're without their quote unquote prophet, that seems to be the way it goes. When you're under Warren Jeffs, typically Warren Jeffs is the one who matches people with somebody, but they let these women choose who they're going to be with.
And the man, he's just like, I was chosen.
Yeah, he says, I just gotta prepare for her. She's ready.
House and
you don't have any money. I'll go ahead and get this big house for all my wives.
The Queen Bee said, I can't even touch newbie's hand at all. So, damn it.
Hashtag
She's
new
like,
life
no,
problem.
It's not Saturday.
Not Saturday, so it's not your day. She's still in her feelings.
I'm disturbed.
I'm
disturbed. I am disturbed on multiple levels. That man just told them babies, listen, son, just say I'm not your dad.
No, you shouldn't do that to kids. Like, as much as the son loves you, and he loves calling you.
All right, so check this out, right? So, I mean, how conducive is that? Because they're still having issues. And according to the previews for the next episode, all three of the wives are about to go at it. So how much does that really help?
It doesn't help. I think
they about to go at it because he's absent.
Because he's allowing them to handle that whole
a lot
situation.
A lot of people think that, hey, if we let the women choose and if the man just sits back like a toy and let the women guide the family and guide who's going to come into the man's family, that's going to do away with conflict between the women, but it doesn't.
Show me the facts. Show me the statistics. Somebody we need to call Patricia Dixon again. Like we've ever
Dr. Dixon.
Someone needs to actually go through and poll these families and find out. Because you got to show me where that works. Outside of the Mormon community.
I think with polygyny, you have a lot of apologetics. You have a lot of people have these perceptions about the men that practice it. And so you come with all these apologies on how it's going to work. Well, if the men just, dumb themselves down and quieted themselves down and, let the women dominate the scene, then it'll work. So that'll do away with that whole, me man, me want wives thing.
He better do some me man, me want wives.
He better go hit his chest. But quite frankly, I don't see it working. You guys see it working?
No,
show me. Show me. Name a family.
What I'm seeing is that a lot of the women a lot of the situations where the women take the lead and govern, the family, especially the adding of the wife, like the Snowdens are doing. It's like they're doing it together, but
show me outside
like,
of
wow.
outside of him cheating for umpteen years, and now he's like, okay, baby, you take the lead. But you've been with her for 20 years already. So she really is not even taking the lead. This one is just submitting to her and just, I'm sorry. You can ruin me. You can decide. You decide how this goes.
It's like you could have another wife, but I choose who she is.
Yeah. And then that goes. Then you get into the loop
And
of
to
no
me,
one's
like,
worthy.
Yeah.
Nope, she doesn't. She doesn't.
No,
make
I
it.
didn't like her.
No,
No,
she
I
didn't
didn't
work.
like her. She didn't work out.
I didn't like the way.
She wasn't my friend.
No. And it's like the
I didn't
woman
like the
is
way
trying to
she
be a
arched her
friend.
eyebrows.
Oh, now you gotta talk about
Sorry.
you know, she wasn't my friend, but do you know how to be a friend? Can you yourself be a friend? Do you have any friends?
And see now in Jeff's family with Melina trying to come down in the first
So
place, like, I don't know.
So sorry. So when does it come to the point where maybe you, the first wife or the current wife, is the problem? And because you have the reins in choosing the second or the subsequent wife, one, you may choose another woman that's as problematic, or two, you may never get her because she might not, that problem you have is just going to forever keep clashing. And then number three, it's like you will never be able to grow out of your problem. You see what I'm saying? Because if the man chooses another woman, then we kind of have some kind of balance. We have another woman that does not have that same issue. And then now the first wife that has the problem, she is able to grow out of a problem with that, with that woman setting an example of, what not having that problem is. So I don't see the building there. I don't see the growth there. I just like you said, I just see the cycle.
The growth and building is not even in their framework because they just now moved together. They've had their own homes. So they only came together now, who knows for what reason, but they've only been living together for 15, I don't know.
Yeah, it's over 15
Why did they
days.
come together? Is it because there's a third one and he was going to be split too thin?
Maybe, and he just said he was tired of everyone being apart, so he wanted
Okay,
everyone
so
to get together.
he was split too thin.
Yes, and so now
You got to look out for the code words, man. Yeah.
We're gonna put those in the description. You having a conversation with your wife and your husband.
Outside of everybody being apart, that means I was split too thin.
Yeah, 2 days.
And that means I want a third one, but I don't want to have to be split
even more.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make these two women who don't get along come together. And hopefully this third one
We'll make everything
balance it out in a state that has some harsh laws against polygyny, in a community where the people are on the lookout for people like us.
It's so prevalent.
So our children are going to have to lie about who their mama and daddy is.
And then you subject to have a situation where you bring in a third, and that third has made an alliance with that one over there, and now they both got a problem with you. Now what you gonna do, sir? How you gonna fix that?
I mean, I think if he was gonna do this, he should have been very hands-on. He should be almost on this situation. He should be almost micromanaging.
It's not in their culture.
I don't see how.
First wife one and wife two don't like each other.
How many years? Like 10 or 12 years?
Something like that, but off top they don't
you
like each
guys
other.
could explore this, but
and they both have their own place.
Contrary to popular belief that it may work better when the women run it, but when you think about it, I don't see how it's gonna work when the man doesn't run it. How is he going to? So what? He's just gonna let this one be unfair, because maybe she is, the first wife and the one with the legal contract, and she got her ways and she's been there 10 years before the other one.
I think
So I'm just going to sit back and let her be unfair to the other one. And well, I'm going to stay out of it. Well, I can see they have communication issues.
I think the first one portrays herself as being very
The
delicate and
weak and
fragile.
damsel.
And
Oh, I hate her.
The second wife be like ready, you know what I mean? Every time I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I was talking bad about her accent.
But
Right? I was talking bad about her accent, but I'm nervous because like she sounds like she's pissed off. Listen,
I'll do whatever I gotta do
to not have to have this confrontation right now. I'm like, oh. Well, so it's kind of like, so every time she comes off like that, wife one can be like, you see, honey, you see how she does?
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh,
And
all I did was say
now
such
number
and
3
such.
is like, I just asked, who's gonna make breakfast.
These two had to argue. And when I look at it from the outside of these two looking in, those two have been together for 10
Because we
years.
have to recognize that a lot of the times, or not a lot, but sometimes these women make these alliances to get you out. And now the revolving door starts.
Oh no. Please, not revolving door polygyny. We just hate that.
Because what if the first feels like she's getting bullied by the second and the third, and now she pulls that card.
I'm just saying.
Envy. I don't want to be polygynous no more. Let's do it. What's it called? Couples privilege.
Couples privilege.
We use the polyamory term. Oh my God.
I pulled it from the random
The
polyamory.
I mean, you see how quickly
random
she said.
undefined.
You see how quickly
polyamory
she said
card.
she's the one with the
Yes.
license, so she gets to clean the needle.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
She's the one that she sits by him on the table. No matter what, she does not give up or even come out of the seat of holding that man's right hand at all during the show.
You say I sit there.
She said,
"Right hand to the
father."
Like this. She's listening.
His hand smell like her. And no smell like nobody else.
So in short, what I'm saying is that as the husband of multiple wives, you can't take the nonchalant, laid back in the cut attitude. You're gonna have to preside over situations. You're gonna have to preside over conflict between your two wives, especially when they're living in the same home. Right? So you can't just take I'm just gonna sit back and let them have at it and let it fix itself.
You think it's gonna fix itself?
Yeah, and you have to be fair. And you have to, as the man, you got to grab the reins and lead your family.
And choose right.
Yeah.
Why would you choose a woman that is going to be opposing? Like, why even go there?
Well, apparently they choose.
That's true, but he could have said no.
But he chose that one.
He sit back and.
Okay.